Hello and welcome back to Dyad. This week is going to be awesome because one of my favorite all-time guests is here. It's Victoria, y'all. We also have the thing that started out as rumors for casting of THRAWN and EZRA seemingly being confirmed. Is it? Is it not? We'll be talking about Tempest Runner, which is our anticipated High Republic audio drama that's coming out. We'll find out if you're more of a Han or a Leia. We'll be diving deep into Bad Batch this week because it was a doozy. We'll have a tentative date for the trivia contest where you get to win a lightsaber. And also we'll be hanging out with the awesome people in chat answering your guys' questions. But all that's happening right now on Dyad in the Force.
Unseen for generations, a Dyad in the Force.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Dyad in the Force. Guys, episode 38. Lots to talk about today. Let's say hello to the chat. We have Brian with the beard, Brian with the bread, Brian with the bread beard, Brian with the beard bread. Alex Thane, Car2D2, Cal4, Levi Bond, Dob. How's it going, everybody? We have a lot to talk about on this episode, but first we have a very special guest. It's Victoria, y'all. I just love to say that.
Everybody. Yeah. I always love the intros that you guys give me because they're always super dramatic, and then they're like, "It's Victoria, y'all." And so yeah, it's Victoria, y'all, or Victoria Vader on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And so I'm so happy to be back with you guys. I feel like it's like a long-awaited family reunion. So I cannot wait to dive into this week's episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it feels like we're always trying to wait for like a topic worthy of Victoria coming on, but
hey, every single guest needs a topic that's for them. But then, of course, when we think of Victoria, we just want her around.
Aww. Thank you, guys.
Brian says, y'all, it's Victoria.
Y'all.
How was you guys' weeks?
That's the remix. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm hanging in there. Bad Batch. The 1 week I don't stay up to watch it at midnight is super epic.
Like, yeah.
I'm sleepy. I'm sorry.
Oh man, I'm cautiously optimistic, but that causes me to stay up for everything. But
yeah,
I was rewarded.
Also, a friend of the channel, Lord Dagover, decided to start doing like live reactions. I was not able to stay up for it, but here's how his was, because it's definitely a let's go episode.
Yeah, I don't think it was live. He does a live pre-show, I think around like 5 or 8 his time, and then like he talks to people just like he would, join our Discord and hang out before. I'm thinking of definitely doing a little bit more like just chatting live streams just to kind of hang out with everybody more often during the week. The motivation to do so eludes me. It forever eludes everyone.
The motivation is there. That's the time, the spirit is willing.
Mm-hmm.
But...
That's true. Kieran Barr says, what kind of yeehari is this? I don't know. Victoria, explain yourself.
So, I don't know. It's just like my natural state, I guess.
That's awesome. You should put on your bio default state of being yeehari.
Oh yeah, I like that, yeehari. So I just changed my bio, so it's like, Darth Vader, anime, other things, but with a southern twang. So you're gonna get the Bad Batch tonight, Dyad in the Force, but with a southern twang. So special flavor tonight.
That's always like amazing to be a part of.
Okay, I feel like Victoria now needs an OC in Star Wars with the name Yahari.
Ooh,
Yahari. Oh my gosh, that is literally so perfect.
Yahari.
I thought you were gonna.
I love that.
I thought you were gonna try to like make Yihari work, but Yahari is quite the name.
That's a sick name. I regret saying it out loud and not just stealing it for myself. But
No, I love that because I was just thinking about like, I might venture into the world of Star Wars OC because I just built a lightsaber, you guys saw, and I was like, this could get some ideas cooking. So if I use that name, I will credit Dyad and the Force.
Great. Oh yeah, Great Fade says no love for Great Fade. We got some love. We got some love to spread. It is abundant on Dyad in the Force in the TikTok community of Star Wars. So yeah, just stick around and hang in there. The love will be spread.
Sorry, when I played Overwatch on like hardcore, I mained the character May, and she has a line that says "Hang in there." So whenever someone says it, I think of the times where I would be freezing people to death while spamming the voice line "Hang in there, hang in there," and then I would put icicles in their face. But yeah, we also have Alex Thane saying crosshair is now cross-bald. True.
Or cross-singed. I don't know. Like, was that a choice? Is that an active choice? Or is that just a product of circumstance?
Hey, shaved is a choice. Bald is not.
That's true. But did he accept it? Was it singed off and did he go, I guess it works? I'm
sure there's patches in there. Patches, oh hooray.
Cross burn, Cal says. Vic, tell us about your time in Galaxy's Edge. Who did you meet?
Oh, it was super, super fun. I did a little work trip, and so at the very end of it, we had the chance to go to Galaxy's Edge, and my husband got to build a lightsaber, and so opening that experience was just magical. The person running Savi's workshop that day was just remarkable. And it's like you can't go through the experience without crying. Hands down, it is magical. And so I don't want to, speak too much on it, but it definitely hits you right in the soul. But yeah, it was really fun. I went to Galaxy's Edge that morning and we were looking for legacy lightsabers, and I was like, I want Darth Vader's lightsaber. I worked really hard this year, worked some overtime, and I was like, I'm gonna get this lightsaber. So I went up to the legacy saber counter and they were like, we're all sold out of Darth Vader's lightsaber. And I was like, no, I was devastated. No Revenge of the Sith, no energy. And I was like, in line for Star Tours later that day, and I was like, I've been on Star Tours in the past 4 years, probably I don't know, 20-ish times, and I was like, I really wish they had kept the original trilogy in Star Tours. And somebody was telling me, yeah, they still run some theaters with Darth Vader as, the villain that catches you and you get past them, and I was like, oh yeah, sure. I don't believe that, because for 4 years all I had gotten was the other theater. Mm-hmm. And so I had literally just gotten out of my mouth. I was like, every single time I go into one of these rides, I'm like, Darth Vader's gonna be the villain that stops me today. Today it's gonna be Darth Vader, and then all my hope kind of falls apart. But we were in the little hangar, and we come up, and all of a sudden it's Darth Vader. Literally everybody sitting next to me went, "Oh my god!" And so it was perfect. And so then right after that experience on Star Tours, we walk out, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw a box that someone had returned, and I was like, what? And so I got Darth Vader's lightsaber, and so that was definitely the culmination of a great day and a great time in Galaxy's Edge and Hollywood Studios. So it was really fun.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
It's the will of the Force.
It is.
We're sitting here with an overabundance of envy right now, because lots of people went to Galaxy's Edge over the last couple of weeks. I think Harith is there right now. Squadron 7 member Harith. Also, Julia Christine just went there with Fern to build her lightsaber at Savi's.
and Beth and Camilla.
Yes, and man, and then Victoria, and I think you met Sawyer there too, right?
Oh yes. Okay, that's what you were asking when you were like, "Who did you meet?" I was like, "Well, I didn't meet any characters this time, and I have this thing like I don't go meet Darth Vader. I don't know what it is. I just get like intimidated, you know." Anyways,
Happens.
So I was like, "Oh," but I met Sawyer, so that was really fun. We rode the Smuggler's Run together, and so
Very
it was
nice.
a good time.
Oh man, we need to get there.
I know.
Yeah.
Especially all my mutuals, my Straw Hat getting put up in a hotel there, and like, come on.
Yeah.
Lucasfilm. That's the new goal is Lucasfilm. Once the Star Wars Hotel comes out, like, hook your boys up. We will cover it.
That's
We'll
right.
make all kinds of awesome stuff. I promise. I'm manifesting that right now. If you can all share your energy with me, we're gonna spirit bomb this with manifestation.
Man, we're gonna get comped some tickets, some +1s, and then an extra ticket to give away on Dyad in the Force. And the way you enter is to go in like Victoria's videos, and then we'll pick from there. I'm manifesting that.
I love it. That's some great energy to put out there.
I just want a ticket to an extra ticket to that stuff to give away to the squad and to the community. Get like I don't know, get like what's that one thing that they use for like those giveaways? It's like that one portal that you press a couple of like things for entries, and then it just handles all of that. I don't.
No clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Win
anything.
I'm picturing like the fake ones where they're like, "Oh, put your information here," and then they just like sell your data.
It's a weird website. They do the giveaways around there, and then they have like a list of things you can do to get entries, and it's like the Facebook page, like the YouTube page.
Oh, gotcha.
I forget what it's called.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
That's what counts as an entry. Oh, Brooke.
A Bedazzler or Brooke. Every time, like, I speak to her as Brooke, and in the voice chat, Brooke. But then, like, when I like look away and then I look back and I see her name, I'm like, "What's up, Bedazzler?" I'm like,
I have the opposite problem. Like, I'll go to message and then like, "No Brooke. There's no Brooke here." Like, I know it's Bedazzler.
yeah. Oh yeah. X-Core Gamer Skills. It's called Gleam. Clutch. Nice clutch. Brooke, thank you for the $5 of ramen. I can't stay long, but wanted to say I love all of you, amazing human beings, and we love you too. And that is you guys' cue if you are looking for Star Wars trinkets, earrings, shoes, jackets. I don't know if she's still accepting those types of orders, and she might be backlogged or bogged down with current orders, but Far Away Factory on Etsy. Go check it out. A lot of Star Wars stuff.
While you're there, you can always search up Darth Choco on Etsy as well.
Oh man. Go ahead. Get that plug out there. Go for it.
I'm just saying, if you like, subtle Bad Batch hats where you got the skull logo and stuff, I don't acquire
just like
such a thing.
Did you work out the stitching problem that you had?
Yes. Yeah, I was able to work that out. And I mean, I might work out some other things, but yeah, we'll see. More coming, more stuff coming to the merch store. But right now, there's a lot of bad.
so exciting.
Levabon says, "Oh my god, I just put that together. That her username is Bedazzler. He was always just Brooke Dazzler."
I love it.
Okay, so let's move on to our first topic. Of course, we have some interesting news. Let me bring that up for you guys here. Yoink, yoink. So, the rumor the rumor mill has been swirling for a long time now with a couple of people being floated for Ezra. I think the first one was the guy from that zombie show. I forget his name. Dev Patel? Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
He was floated as Ezra. And then now Mena Massoud, who had done either an Instagram or a tweet. He was just a quote straight out of Rebels. And then, of course, we've all been, speculating as to who could play Thrawn, with Lars Mikkelsen being at the top of the list because he is the original voice actor. And then we have some Cumberbatches and some, my personal, which is Daniel Stevens from Downton Abbey. Choco, did you have a pick?
I mean, honestly, you convinced me on Daniel Stevens, but I know him mostly from Legion. But I think he's a great choice as long as it's not Robert Downey Jr. And I do not want Cumberbatch, but definitely no on the Robert Downey.
Oh yeah, Julia Christine says Rahul Kohli. That's what I don't think it was Dev Patel, was it?
He was rumored, though.
Oh, okay.
He was definitely in the conversation.
It's also time for the weekly Conspiracy Cantina plug. I mean, this is our show, but fine, it is time for that. Check out Conspiracy Cantina by X-Core Gamer Skills and Jedi Master DePaul. Awesome podcast. We'll be there next week, I believe, on August 3rd. Yes, a couple of days. Check them out. They're a blast, and they're some great people. But yeah,
absolutely. My favorite thing though is because when I started making content, like the whole purpose is not to like grow. It's to start conversations and like help build a community. And like to see now there's more podcasts with the amazing people like just having good and positive conversations about Star Wars. It's so cool to me because this is like, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. And we're taking over. We just want the maximum amount of people having these positive conversations and just loving stuff. It's amazing. Just like the guys over at They Fly Now, our good friends Harith and Carter D2.
What's up, Gray? I love Downton Abbey and I love him in Legion. Absolutely. Just to echo what Choco was saying, like this is the movement we're trying to build here. I want to, along with everyone else in the community, create a space where the guys who are on that side are still hung up on The Last Jedi. And we're over here enjoying the hell out of Taika Waititi's new movie, Rogue Squadron, Rian Johnson's new trilogy, and then there's like, I don't know, maybe we'll have a trailer for The Old Republic. And they're still hating on the sequels. And I just want to create like that visage of a community that is just knee deep in Star Wars, just enjoying themselves, and they're over there like, man, Rey's not a Skywalker, and then they're just gonna do that for the rest of their lives.
Yep. But there's the changing of the guard, getting rid of the old guard and hanging out with the all new nerds, which is all new nerds.
Nice segue.
Another group of people. I was trying to work it in. That was about as subtle as a brick. I'm sorry.
Vic, did you have a pick for Thrawn at all?
Oh, honestly, Lars Mikkelsen was my pick.
Fair enough. So, I mean, he is the voice actor. He was. Go for it.
I was gonna say I might be winning this because if it's as almost confirmed as we believe it, then I will have won. I'm very excited about that. But yeah, I think on the note that you were talking about earlier, like Star Wars, I was thinking about it today. It began in like this space, and then slowly we've been zooming out and seeing more and more of this vastness, this galaxy, this like so many more stories. And so naturally, not every story is going to stick with every person because we are creating a vast, like a far more vast galaxy. And so it's really important to like love the vastness of this storytelling, how deep we can get, how wide. Like I just think that it's just so beautiful that we're including so many new Star Wars fans, and there's so many different entry points for engagement with Star Wars. I think it's like just marvelous.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say earlier.
Also, I forgot to do this, but shout out to It's Ben, y'all. Just shout out to him. Awesome Genshin Impact friendo and companiendo. I don't know if I said that right.
That was great.
So, talking about this topic, it hasn't been confirmed. I'm going to say this and put that out there. It hasn't been confirmed by Lucasfilm at all that they were cast. But the rumor says that Mena Massoud and Lars Mikkelsen have been cast as Thrawn and Ezra for the Ahsoka show. However, there's a wrench in there. Rosario Dawson added that announcement to her story. Now, this isn't her saying this. This is the person that posted it, and then this is her putting it in her story. So she herself is not saying this. She's just like, it's like a retweet. So how do we approach this news? How do we, like, is she confirmation?
So
I wouldn't say so.
I'm with Victoria here because I'm always the skeptic of like, well, this is what they said, and so we can always glean meaning from it. I think it does lend more credibility, but it's I mean it's still not confirmation. Rosaria, she has to know the impact of what she posts. I mean, that's how she got cast as Ahsoka in the first place.
That's
is
true.
the impact of posts. So I would be shocked, but I haven't seen anything more from her or any other source confirming anything. So I mean, I still want more.
Yeah. You know what's odd about this is that like she could very well repost this with a caption from herself saying, "I'm so glad this is happening," but she didn't.
Welcome aboard. You know, like, are they shooting this now? Does she know who's cast at this point in time? I don't know.
I don't even like. If this isn't a confirmation, is this like her like endorsing those pics for those characters?
That's kind of how I took it when I saw the post. I took it as like endorsing those pics, being like, wow, this is like a really cool, almost like a fan cast, even though she's more internal to the story than the three of us are. I would say it still felt that way to me. Was just like she was just happy with those pics. And they may not be the pics. I don't know.
What's up to Nerd Connor in the chat? If Victoria was to come to England, we will get our second ever Queen Victoria. But she's already a queen here too, so
right.
We have her first. You know?
She's very unenthused, but
Me?
yeah.
I was like,
also, week 2 of me delivering a message to Connor's parents. We are very much real. We are his friends. He's got a whole bunch of friends in this community that are virtual yet existing. So if y'all are watching, we're real, and this community loves him.
I'm just trying to not start singing Jennifer Lopez, but I am real.
You should. just
you walked away, you looking style your hair like Job Rule. How did he have a career? That's crazy. Anyways,
the same way Vin Diesel does.
True.
Let's see really quickly. I wanted to read this message from Xcore Gamer Skills. Roger on TikTok showed off a Google cast list for Kenobi and Ice Cube is there. Are we sure that's not his son? That everyone is Is this like a all y'all look alike type of like situation? I do believe his son is in the cast, isn't he?
I mean, his son was cast as him.
Really?
Before, because they look so much alike when he was younger. So I have not seen that cast list. I definitely need to. There's a lot of content I need to consume and create. I'm working on it.
So where I fall on this news is I agree with Vic that it is her endorsement of the picks and quite possibly could have a large impact on if they are ultimately picked, right? If Rosario is 100 in on Mena Massoud and Lars Mikkelsen, and she's in the office on Monday with Filoni and Favreau, and they're like, should we? And she's like, yes. And then we'll get that confirmation. But for sure, I'm with everyone else here in the chat where we're not gonna get hype for it until Lucasfilm releases it. But let's go on this ride for a second here with the speculation train, because now that we've confirmed, or not, now that we have confirmed supposedly that Ezra and Thrawn are in the show, if we're to believe this announcement, then it does track with the show's released synopsis that she is chasing down Thrawn in search of Ezra. This confirms that Sabine's in it too. She has to be in it, right? And I think we're both Jessica Henwick on that.
Oh, I would love that so much. That would just make my life. But I am. No, that's what I want. It's what I want. It's not what I think we're going to get, but it is for sure what I want.
Yeah, I gotta show this to the chat. This is our Sabine right here. If you're unfamiliar with Jessica Henwick, she was on Iron Fist. She was also a pilot in The Last Jedi. Or no, The Force Awakens.
Yes. Super brief. Not enough where there would be a conflict. Let it go. So I keep getting that comment of, well, no, that this person can't. They've been in Star Wars before. You know, like Mark Hamill has been like 12 people in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Warwick Davis is Star Wars at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think he's not been in anything, and he's been multiple people in the same project. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Vic, do you have a pick for Sabine at all?
I fully endorse your pick.
Thank you very much. It is a great pick. Hello to Haley or Corellia Coffee Works. She looks just like her.
Hello.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Haley,
that
also another Orla stan. So.
Oh yeah. Orla's queen. Vic, are you reading the High Republic books?
I
Not bad if you
have a bookmark halfway through Light of the Jedi at the moment.
Gotcha. You definitely need to like blitz through them all, because this era is looking to be pretty epic.
Pretty impactful. Oh, I cannot wait. But we can use this as a little opportunity. Anybody who's not reading High Republic, what would you say to them to get them to like jump in?
Well, the first thing I say in regards to High Republic to get them in is that it's a whole new world. Do you trust me?
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that to me.
It's the earliest. It's the prequel to the prequels, so it's the earliest known in history of Star Wars. Besides our passing mentions of Revan, Ancient Sith Lords, Tar Vizsla, the Old Republic, just as a term. Without that, like the meat and bones of that era, we have this High Republic era, and Go for it.
Oh yeah, I mean the thing that jumps out to me is like if you love the Jedi, this is the ultimate era because you get to see the Jedi at their best. You get to see them doing what they're supposed to be doing, and you get to see like new and intricate ways of looking at the Force. That's like awesome. And if on the other side, if you dislike the Jedi, it's a perfect era because you get to see them at their best. You get for all the same reasons that if you didn't like what you saw in the prequels, well, this will explain that. If you, I don't know, it just it enriches the world beautifully, but also this is the most Star Wars right now, and I know it's a weird thing to say, but Star Wars is at its best when it's allowed to be weird, when it's allowed to get deep and philosophical, or we get to suffer these losses and things like that, the things that really made it great. And I feel like a lot of the modern stuff is about preserving what made it great, which makes things typically safer, but now we get this era that's untouched, and it's like a wild west where as you watch it you don't know what's going to happen. You can watch an episode of The Bad Batch and understand like, oh, this isn't the season finale, so none of our main characters are gonna die here. You don't get that safety net in the High Republic. And it's great. It is great.
Levi Bond says Gemma Chan was in Captain Marvel as Minerva and is also just casually an Eternal and is also my number one pick for a canon Satele Shan. She's just so beautiful.
She's my number one pick for Pep's girlfriend.
Man, if I could score Gemma, I would. I definitely would. I'm in there. That interview is coming to Dyad in like a few months. I'm just kidding. Okay, so like going off of what I was saying with the High Republic, one of my favorite things about Victoria is her critical analyses on Vader. And so more so than
Sorry. I already know where you're going and I want it more than anything ever.
More so than anything else. Catch up with the books or like stay up to date with High Republic. I want you to read about the arcs of certain characters that I cannot disclose for spoiler purposes, but I want you to read these arcs, and I definitely want to hear what you think about these characters because, not gonna lie, that's Victoria territory written all over it.
Oh, I'm so excited. One thing that like really excited me about the High Republic was like what you were saying earlier, Brandon. I have never been like a super big Jedi fan, and so I was like, oh, if it's about the Jedi, I can't like find the motivation to get there. But then it's like what you were saying, if you find that you had trouble with like loving Jedi, this is the perfect opportunity for you to see what they could have been and were. And Miss Eggy said something. She has a very similar, she was like, I'm kind of like about the Jedi, and then she's like, no, I'm like about the Jedi. So I am definitely excited to dive in, and like what you were saying, Pep, it's like finding characters to really dive into and unpack is one of my favorite things about Star Wars. It's like the whole like the microscope versus the zooming out type of thing with Star Wars. Like you can zoom in and keep zooming in and keep zooming in and like find the fibers of these characters. And I think there have been so many talented writers on the High Republic projects and so many amazing artists that I cannot wait to dive in. And so I'll keep you guys updated.
Okay, but more than anything, like ever, I need your deep dive into Markion Ro. It would just be the best thing ever. And
I feel like him. Oh man, I can't start naming names.
You can't start.
I just feel like from Light of the Jedi to the Rising Storm, or even Out of the Shadows, there's 3 or 4 characters that I feel like you would immediately jump at and be like shards of Vader. So that's all I can say without saying anything, you know?
Right. I love it. I'm excited.
People in the chat, how captivating, because myself, coming into this, I was like, is there any, because Star Wars can do villains. And I was like, how are they going to make someone captivating enough, you know, without just rehashing the same thing? And I'll ask the people in the chat if they think that that has been accomplished in the High Republic, and we'll let the chat kind of aid. But I feel like they will likely agree with me. But knowing your penchant for villains, yeah, I think there's gonna be some good stuff.
You know me. You know I'm predictable. Read me like a book.
She's definitely gonna love Markion Ro. And it's so weird to say it like that, but I'm such a sucker for canonicity of things, and so if you all say Marchion Ro or Marchion Ro, that's great. I'm just like I'm a stickler for that stuff. So, but it is also weird because I come from saying Marchion, but after Soul said Markion, I was like, I must yield. I must defer.
I mean, you saw I did, so.
Yeah. Escort Gamer still, so for 1,000 generations, the Jedi were guardians of peace and justice throughout the galaxy. True. And this is the perfect time for them to kind of illustrate that. But, of course, that's not without its tumbles. And topsy-turvy washing machine maneuvers. You know, spinny spin. But going off of the High Republic topic, we do have news on the Tempest Runner audio original cast. Tempest Runner, meaning Lorna D. I don't think this is much of a spoiler. She's just one of the Nile. You'll meet her. I don't know how far into Light of the Jedi are you? Not far.
Well, I started it right when it came out, and then my masters got wild, and then you'll know about what happened to my car. So life kind of happened, and
very understandable.
My car got towed today again. Anyways,
really?
So while I'm waiting on my car to be okay, I might jump right back in. So I will restart. That's the moral of the story. I don't quite recall.
I know what it's like when it's just been too long, and you're like, all right, well, let's run it back.
Yeah.
Run it back.
Yeah, run the tapes. But no, I have been so excited to see the hype surrounding High Republic, and so I'm very excited to have an opportunity to dive into it. And then I saw I just love the format of audio drama, and so I'm very, very excited for the Tempest Runner.
Absolutely. This one is actually, so it doesn't really matter if you are up to date. This is seemingly a prequel to everything, right? Because, well, I can't say why.
Is it?
Yes. And I'll just say this without saying anything. Cassiv is in it.
But we'll have a discussion after because I have some reason to believe other things. But
okay.
We'll chat. I'm excited though.
But let's see, Jessica Almasi as Lorna D. I mean, it almost looks like she should play her live action as well, to be completely honest with you. But the reason I wanted to talk about this is because Mark Thompson is back, and he's got Panita, Skier, and Markion Ro. And we all love Mark Thompson's Markion Ro voice. I'm so excited for this. There's so many. This is going to be our first like real production of it, right? Like everyone's got different voices. It's got an original score A full score, sound effects, everything.
Yeah. I mean, so in this one it looks like they are putting a lot more behind this project than they did the previous two original audio. Actually, only one of them was truly original, to be fair, because we had Dooku Jedi Lost, which was an original, but that was kind of the first canon audio drama, followed by the Afra one, but that was largely a retelling of Vader 2015, just from her perspective. But yeah, no, it feels like they're really putting a lot into this one. And like you said, we got Mark Thompson, who we know reads a lot of these for Star Wars. But if it's not Mark Thompson, typically it's Jonathan Davis, who specifically reads one of my favorites, which is Darth Bane.
And he's in it too?
Yeah, so he's in it. A lot of the times when it is a female lead, they bring in January LaVoy, who is also in it. But I think they're doing a really good job. I also saw Tara Sands, who's just like a legit voice actor, who you might know her as a Bulbasaur. But no, she does a lot of things. Uta Jaime and JJK.
Oh, really?
Yeah, does a lot of of anime voices, and most of the other people. I mean, I've seen them do work, but I'm not directly familiar with. But I feel like they're putting a lot. Everyone that's in it is either a lot of people are big name voice readers from Random House, or people that have had minor roles and stuff. But it feels like they're putting a lot more effort into this one, so I'm excited to see what comes of it.
I feel like the Sullivan Jones guy should be voicing Loden. He just has that, that look about him.
Regalness.
Yeah, and also Saskia Marleveld. I see Avar in that. And I'm just like, can she also play Avar in live action? Oh man, this is such an incredible cast. I'm absolutely excited for this audio drama. With this being the first full production of it, with the full score and sound effects, we will have official High Republic songs.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when they said it would be scored, because I think, to me, Star Wars is at its best when collaboration is at the forefront. And so creating a format like an audio drama with a full score with these amazing artists all involved, I think there's so much room for this to be it's going to be magical, but I think we'll get a lot of the feeling of this era through that score.
Yeah. Levi Bond says, why do you sound like a dying Christopher Walken? Because that's what Markion sounds like. I could go into a dying Walken sound, but that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this podcast. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, it's less Walken, more what's his face from Memento.
Well, what is his face from Memento?
Mind blank. Only Lord D.
Galaxy brain pause. Fart. Right? What if Markion is played by Nicolas Cage? I have to say, I've raised a very good Nihil, and I think after the Republic Fair, we're gonna go steal the Declaration of Independence. And he's got to say it like that too. Declaration of Independence.
Mm-hmm.
Guy Pearce.
That was legendary.
Levi Bond says, I think that is Guy Pearce, if I'm not mistaken. Right? From Memento?
That's not who I'm thinking of, but it's okay. We can move forward.
Okay, yeah, let's move forward to, we're going to take a little quiz right here with the chat. I'm going to put it in the chat right here.
I'm so excited.
Are you more Han or Leia? Take the quiz with us, guys.
Okay. Well. Okay. First, I need some predictions. Am I more Han or Leia? Put predictions in for me.
Yeah.
Pep.
I want to know.
But what do you think we are going to come out as? I'm gonna right now say that Victoria is definitely more Leia. It's not a gender thing. It's because Leia is one of her favorite characters, and
it is one of my favorite characters. So I'm gonna curate my answers perfectly. Don't y'all worry.
Ah.
Pep, am I more Han or?
Given the complexities or the dynamics of our dyad, I would say you're more Leia, and I'm more willing to dunk, on the peeps. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I was gonna say the same. I was gonna say, Brandon, you are more Leia, and Pep, you're more Han.
I agree.
That's my prediction.
That's cool because Leia wore the pants in that relationship.
Hey, I will be flying the Millennium Falcon, and that's pretty dope, if you ask me.
Yeah. Just be a pretty pilot. That's all you gotta do, honey.
Pick a word to describe yourself. Interesting. There's multiple words I'd pick.
Just being myself, I picked strategic. That's
You're gonna get Leia. I'm gonna pick loyal.
I picked good-hearted.
Absolutely. I don't remember the other ones because it's on the second question, but you are loyal, good-hearted.
It was tough and something else, but I persistent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was gonna put I picked good-hearted because I feel that's the motivation for why I get tough and why I'm persistent. So it's at the heart of those other words that I would have picked, and so I picked good-hearted because that's why I would get tough or something.
Makes sense. Oh, we got people who already took the quiz as we were, ruminating.
Oh.
We'll come back to the chat afterwards, but how would your friends describe you? How my
friends describe you? Oh, that means that we should answer for each other here.
All right. How would you describe me?
Quick thinking.
Do you agree?
Agreed. Yeah.
Okay.
For Victoria does have the regal energy, but I'm gonna go with passionate.
Very passionate. Absolutely.
Thanks. All right, I'm clicking it. And then Brandon, I would say brave for you.
Yes. Indeed, and scruffy, but brave.
No, that's good to know. I see. I would have thought people thought shrewd, so that's why I asked.
X-Core Gamer still says you're not supposed to think about these. You're supposed to just take it. I mean, but then we wouldn't be us if we didn't think about it.
It wouldn't be true,
Yeah.
Just gotta really dive deep, analyze. This is high stakes. Han or Leia, man.
If you join the Rebel Alliance, you would be. What would I be?
I think you would be a general.
I'm also calling general for you.
Okay.
I'm calling
I'm actually thinking
either a captain or a pilot for myself, because I am far more introverted than than Pep.
Well, but I would also put you as a leader. Like, you don't have to be that general that's like in front of people, but you can be like the person that's making moves and deciding the strategies and stuff.
That's true.
Victoria, I get this, like, who says I'm joining vibe.
Honestly, pick whatever you
I saw
like.
that. I laughed so hard because it's like, with my favorite character being Darth Vader, that's the first thing I think is who says I'm joining. But like, I really do think I would want to be some sort of leader. I was thinking about, like, when I was thinking about like doing a original character, just not a Jedi. I would love to be like a historian or like a Dr. Aphra on the rebellion side.
Interesting.
I'd love to do that.
So
she's gonna love Into
I don't
the
know.
Dark.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you can read Into the.
Oh, I'm ready. I cannot wait.
I love all of the characters.
So I think for her, I mean, like, what would be the equivalent to an Afra? Like a pilot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
That's what I'm gonna pick.
General. Pick a Star Wars character to join you on an adventure.
I'm riding with Lando. Let's go.
I gotta stick with R2, man. It's R2 all day.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna tell him to
was gonna
stay
say
at the
R2.
stay with the ship. He coming
No.
Archer's got more experience than anyone here.
with me. Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
Instead of stay with the ship, can you lead the way?
Yeah. You lead, I'll follow.
Well, I mean, R2 didn't survive for that long from leading the way.
Wow. How do you like to spend your free time?
Planning ahead.
I like to plan
Planning
ahead while
ahead.
relaxing, though. Can't that be an answer? Like, can't you just
I
like...
was just about to say, like,
Not
it's
for me.
relaxing to think that I have something planned ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. I follow that. But like using the colloquial go relax, and I'm like, I'm lying in a beach chair, but I'm not actually relaxed. I'm plotting, like, okay, this
Right,
is
plotting. Yeah.
I mean,
I
not
love
plotting, planning, scheming.
Oh.
Oh, well, I mean, but man, this is difficult because I'm always kind of ruminating on things that, are to come. Even just the way I plan Dyad, it's just kind of, going with the ebb and flow of the news and who's around and who I want to be on Dyad. And of course, this week it's Victoria. But yeah, I don't know how much of it is planning and how much of it is kind of like just thinking on it until you have a solid plan. So I guess I'm just going to relax. I'm going to pick relaxing. Is that what you guys picked?
Yeah, I picked planning.
I picked planning, yeah. What's up, DePaul? You have a wild DePaul sighting?
A wild DePaul appears. If planning is relaxing, then pick relaxing. I think planning ahead has to be very deliberate. It was deliberate. Yeah. I think I fall in line with planning is relaxing because sometimes, in order for me to decompress, sometimes I have to start planning something. Like, I'll start writing in my outline for my book. Several books now that I'm writing, and that is relaxing to me because it's like I'm writing a story that I resonate with, but that I want to tell, and then you're just sitting there like you're planning ahead with that book, and you're just like vibing,
Yeah. I think I looked at that question because, like, relaxing, I looked at it as like a present time orientation, and then planning ahead is a future time orientation. And so it's like I am future time oriented. So even though planning is relaxing, I'm not present time oriented. I know that about myself, and I have to work on that. But I'm always like future past rather than present.
Right. That
That's how I did it. I'm ready for this next question.
I parsed it out in 3 different ways, but all of them planning ahead was my choice.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What kind of animal would you want as a pet?
Iguana.
You know what? I picked that too because that was my first pet. I had a pet iguana. His name was Flash because he ran really fast. I was like, man, you're like Flash. Your name is Flash.
I love that. I love that so much. Well, see,
My
I'm
first pet
allergic
was
to
a
cats.
canary.
Oh.
Yeah, I had a canary. I named him Robbie after the character from the show Dinosaurs.
Hey,
But no, dog was my answer. Sorry,
cut.
Suki.
No, I love cats. I would want a cat for like everywhere around me if I could, but I am allergic to cats. I did have a dog growing up.
now.
But I'm picking iguana.
Yes.
I'm picking iguana because Brooke has a bearded dragon, and I really want a bearded dragon.
They're super cool.
But we're also have to account for
closed.
the world, the galaxy we're in. Do you want a cat and dog with you on the most dangerous adventures?
On these. Right, absolutely. So picking iguana for sure.
You know, it's kind of like having like a small little ruby in, you know,
Just
on
like,
your shoulder, or just having a cat and dog follow you around and be like Ember, where you're constantly scared about Ember's safety and just something happening to Ember.
Yeah, until Ember saves your life,
Yes.
saves a bunch of people's lives. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was the pick was iguana for me just because like they're chill and they could be on my ship just chilling.
yeah. I just want to be as close to Daenerys Targaryen as I can be. So,
Yes.
sort of Mother of Dragons moment.
What's your favorite snack?
Dog.
Popcorn.
You know,
Suki.
yeah, I'm going with popcorn. I usually get nachos at the movies, but then I also have like a small popcorn after I finish the nachos during the previews, because I always
Love
do
that.
it. How do you deal with conflict?
Trail mix.
Trail mix? You deal with conflict with trail mix?
I do. I just kind of like toss it out there and then have them follow this trail until they shut up.
Yeah.
Hello, Suki. I forgot to say that when you were holding her. I like to be to be completely honest with you, based on like how my dad has raised me. Like his ingenuity with like jury rigging things and like making makeshift things out of old parts. It just like naturally fell on me, and so like, you know, creating solutions out of creative ways is something that I like to use.
Yeah. See,
probably where I
creative
was.
thinking could also be running away. That's me. I'm
Acting
joking, fast. Acting
That's-
fast.
That's the definition. I'm acting real fast.
Yeah, you know, little moment.
What about
Yeah, I
you,
probably would say creative thinking as well.
Choco?
So I would say diplomacy nowadays. That's not where I started. But punching is not an option. But no, for sure diplomacy.
Oh,
is
dear.
where I live now.
Last question, gotta be the hardest question. Choose something to watch.
All of it. All of the time. I'm going to pick Empire Strikes Back because the like dual investment is like my comfort scene out of any media ever. And so that's what I'm picking, because I could say I could watch that 3 times in a row and still be like, whoa, there's something new I found. So
Yeah.
I'm picking Empire Strikes Back.
I gotta go with Last Jedi.
So this was a tough one for me too. I'm also gonna go with Last Jedi, but I'm like, Last Jedi and Empire are right there neck and neck. However, if it says choose something to watch and you're just like picking something to just throw on, Solo is a great choice for that. You know what I mean? Like, you're folding
Yeah.
clothes, cleaning the house. You know what I mean? Like, you toss Solo. Like, if I toss The Last Jedi on, I won't get anything done.
I don't like it. I don't agree with it, but I accept it. Last Jedi it is. Oh my gosh, I got Leia.
Yep.
I got Han.
I also got Leia, but I knew Pep was gonna get Leia. Like I would say out of our dynamic, but overall Leia. It's
I guess so.
there's
Mine
not enough
says-
of a variant.
Han says, "You're brave but headstrong, willing to jump into the fray even when the odds are stacked against you. Even though you claim to have more selfish pursuits, your actions tell a different story, betraying your good heart and concern for those you love."
Oh,
Isn't that sweet?
your ability to
Wait.
focus. What?
Wait. So the next quiz we have to take is which Star Wars alien should be your summer road trip buddy. We have to take that one next.
Where's that one? Do you have a link to that?
Yeah.
Give the link to the chat while I read Leia's little blurb. Your ability to focus on the bigger picture has made you a leader, but sometimes you forget to take time for yourself and focus on your own well-being. Your compassion for others propels you toward greatness. You find it difficult to pause and relax, always reaching for that next goal with a vigor that astounds those who look up to you. Now pack your bags and find out which Star Wars alien should be. Oh, okay, that's where you got it.
There it is. You're like, wait a second.
Before we start this, let's catch up with the chat on their results going all the way back. Let's see here. Corellia Coffee Works or Haley is Team Leia. X4 Gamer still's got Han. Levi got Han. Dob has to go or had to go. I'm sorry. Thank you for tuning in, Dob. Ben Hardiman is Team Han. Let's see.
Ben,
here.
y'all.
Kieran is Han Gang. Lots of Leias and Hans. Really, really nice.
I mean, there should only be Leias and Hans, so.
Right.
The Leias and
Man,
Hans.
so many Hans and Leias.
So many.
Those are some great results. Okay, let's take this a little bit more quickly because we have to move on to Bad Batch.
We can take another time if you want to do that.
Oh no, we can take this quickly.
Mine won't load anymore, so I don't know what's going on.
Really?
So you'll have to read the questions to me.
Let me put the link in the chat if
Yeah, do that.
you guys want to take this quiz really quickly. It's also at the end of the first quiz if you just want to click on that. This is which Star Wars alien should be your summer road trip buddy. Oh man, I'm wishing for Grogu on this. I really am. So pick a destination. I'm gonna have to go with Hawaii. I'm sorry.
I'm going with Thailand.
I've never been to Hawaii.
It's a wonderful place.
Vic?
What's the choices?
I would have to go
Sorry.
back for that. It was Hawaii, California.
Oh wait, I found it.
Okay.
It wouldn't link me from the other one for some reason. Anyways, picking a destination. Man, I would love to go to California's Redwood Forest so I could hang out with you guys. Not too far away.
Hey.
It's actually very far away, but yes.
It is.
Well, oh. But hey, it's the state, right?
But yeah, we are here.
I mean, we would all have to fly up there. I mean, we could
What?
drive.
Only a 9-hour drive for me.
6 hours for me. But yeah, it's all the way
I
up
mean,
in
I'm speaking
northern.
legally. I'm not what I could make it in.
But yeah, that is up in Northern California. But anytime you are in California, hit us up. We'll make the trip out. This is what eternally envious of Cal for over here, for getting to hang out.
Right?
Hey, don't laugh
Okay,
like that.
packing list.
You're laughing in our faces.
No.
Let's start a packing list. First, you'll need
A
dress
sweatshirt.
clothes.
I'm eternally cold.
I gotta go with this swimsuit because I'm going to Hawaii. What about you guys?
That's true.
Sorry, I was taking this faster than I thought.
Oh yeah, I mean
You're
we are
just
getting
so
it quick.
excited.
So you don't remember your
I picked
choices?
a sweatshirt because I'm so cold.
Oh yeah, sweatshirt. Next you want to pack some footwear, some flip flops. I'm going to Hawaii.
So I went sweatshirt and flip flops.
Love that.
You went Northern California? Okay. What quality do you look for in a road trip? Buddy. I mean, no nonsense person. Good company. It's always good company.
By the way, Northern California would be if I was wearing like white sunglasses and a white belt for some reason, and said hella a lot.
Heckin'? Not heckin'?
I am picking street smarts because I budget travel when I do get the opportunity to, and so you gotta be quick, you know.
That's true. Although that could be
like,
you,
We're gonna. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
right?
I picked street smarts.
So now you got both of you being smart. I
That's
just
right.
want good company. You know, either one of you would be great. Anyone in the chat, you know, just carry a conversation. Just be
I'm just
fun.
laughing.
I'm also good if we like travel and like just are inhabiting the same space, but like we're just both reading or something. I like that too. So,
Yeah.
you know, like the introvert in me is like street smart so that they can do their thing. I can do my thing. We meet up for dinner. Love that.
Yeah, that's cool.
When two people can just vibe next to each other alone,
That's right.
but not be alone.
Right. That's true. What kind of playlist will you need for the road? Podcast, all of the Dyad and the Force episodes.
That's true. That's true.
Duh.
Right.
If there
That's
ain't
what
no
I'm putting.
audiobooks in here, it's podcasts. All the way.
What about the high ground? It's a good listen too.
That,
Yes, the
podcasts. If there's no
So we
audiobooks,
got
it's
so
podcasts.
much to listen to.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. High ground is great. Conspiracy Cantina is fantastic.
Yeah.
Specifically, will be
So
next
many great
week. Only
podcasts.
Nerds. They fly now, and also one of the best ones, a Star Wars English class. Y'all gotta jump in on that one.
Absolutely.
So fun.
And also Too Black, Too Nerdy.
Too
With,
Black, Too Nerdy.
Chris.
Yeah.
Too
Too Black.
Haley
Too
somehow
Nerd.
picked Street Smarts and got Jar Jar. That is
No.
furthest.
You know what though? Actually,
He'd be a party.
on the planet of Naboo, it was his street smarts that made them survive and led
That's
them.
true.
They wouldn't have gotten
Yeah.
to.
Now, hold on.
Yeah.
Is that Street Smarts or is that just kind of like local knowledge of Naboo?
How is local knowledge not street smarts?
Well, it could be any other place and Jar Jar would be completely inept.
I'm just saying, in those streets.
If we're going to
Those
Naboo,
streets.
of course. If we're
Yeah.
going into Naboo, Jar Jar, you're my homie. But I'm going to Hawaii. I don't know if he knows anything about Hawaii.
You can swim.
I don't need anybody that just knows how to spac, right? What Star Wars hero would you pick to split up the driving duties? Oh man,
This was the
I'd
easiest
pick
one for me.
Han.
I'm gonna
I
pick
went
the
with Han.
Mandalorian. The Mandalorian. He's
Mandalorian will get you there. Han will get you there, but you'll have fun. You know what I mean? Like you'll
But
have
the
a
Mandalorian,
smile. You'll have a
he's like-
story.
Yeah.
This is like designated driver duty, though, right? This is like I'm gonna take a
Right.
nap, so you drive, and you know, Din's just gonna be like, just sleep. I'll drive. You know.
Yeah,
The
and you
whole
wake
time.
up and you're at your destination and it's great. But if I sleep and I let Han drive, we're gonna wake up at some weird diner somewhere and or wake up at hey, there's just guy on the street who like sells this crazy beef jerky, and you're like, oh shoot.
Yeah, see, that's why I would pick Han. I would pick Han because we'd end up in this like hole in the wall, and he'd be like, oh, like I know all of these people. Yes, we would have to like leave the place running probably because he saw somebody from his past he didn't want to see. But hey, it'd be a good time. It'd be a good time. I would, however, not pick Anakin Skywalker.
That's what I was gonna say.
Not.
X-Core Gamer's gonna say
absolutely not.
He picked Anakin. If you pick Anakin, you're gonna end up outside of Padme's apartment going, I should call her.
or
with the boombox on top.
Yeah.
If anyone,
or I don't know. Maybe I should pick Anakin.
No.
Oh yeah, he would have road rage. I would pick him and be like,
Anakin.
you're gonna be fine, you know, like emotionally validate a little bit and be like, it's gonna be okay, you know. Maybe this whole thing could get avoided.
Where are we? Nevada. Some guy cut me off, but I'm gonna show him. And you're like, no, that's no.
Just keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. You just like
Punch him
shows
with
up
my
with a
robot
lightsaber.
hand, though.
That's right.
Levi Bond
So,
says, what are street
Han.
smarts but local knowledge persevering? All right. We'll take anybody in the chat that doesn't live in LA and drop them in East LA and see how their local knowledge translates to street smarts.
I just don't know what else.
Local knowledge is local knowledge, right? That's called a local guide. It's not someone that's street smarts. Like street smarts is more like universally encompassing of like how you should approach situations on the streets.
Oh, well, all right. Great point by X4 Gamer Skills. If the car breaks down, he wants Anakin around.
That's right.
And
Or Ahsoka.
Anakin is going to get you there fast. Now, and
Why
that's
isn't
right.
Ahsoka a choice?
But I am going to say this: if any one of these people is going to crash, it's going to be Anakin. If anyone is going to not be able to fix her car, it's going to be Han. So,
Oh, that's true.
Yes. So you definitely have some positives and negatives on all of these, you know.
Absolutely. I went with the Mandalorian. I just like if
I
I'm
think
letting
that's a solid choice.
if I'm letting anyone else drive, it's because I want to sleep and
That's
rest. And he's just gonna sit there.
but does he ever actually? He rarely makes it there without issue.
I mean,
Right.
but we're just like, you know, this is a road trip, right? It's not like we're facing the terrible wrath of the Empire on the way. At least that's the situation that they're painting right now. It's just a road trip.
Yeah.
How will you plan for hunger on the road? I always stop to eat on the
Stopping
way.
to eat on the way.
Stopping the
Yeah.
other way.
Absolutely.
New and interesting food.
No debate.
Do it.
What kind of car will you take on this trip?
How about a bike instead?
Yeah, I was like,
I'm going
put
to
that out
Hawaii
there.
though.
Yeah,
Why
it's
is
like
this-
you can't bike to.
I'm going
I
with.
think it was like a short
Biking
term
up the road to
moment.
Hana with
Yeah.
but it's like a
Through the
two-person bike
ocean.
with Mando up front.
You're just like sitting in the basket, like.
I'm going with luxurious and spacious. I'm sorry. That's a little bit.
I did. Wow.
I did fast.
That's a good one. Luxurious.
Yeah,
I did.
fast,
I'm gonna say
yeah.
maybe practical, so that it won't break down. Unlike my
Yeah,
car.
but it also says and used. Right?
So then, like, if somebody hits you or you hit them, you're like, oh yeah, it's you know, or like if somebody like dings your door, like Han Solo, like. Because
Oh, well.
you're outside somewhere and they're like, oh, you stink. And they kick your little headlight or something. You're like, all good.
Now I'm regretting
confused.
putting Din in the driver's seat with the luxurious and spacious.
Right.
What color is your vehicle? I gotta go with my blue.
Black.
Black for Vic.
All black everything.
Yep.
Black for
Black
Choco.
cop, black cop. Oh,
I'm the only blue. You can see my Nichirinto is blue over there.
blue was my second
I
choice.
love that.
Actually, white is my second choice, but I wasn't it.
And finally, which game will keep you occupied on the long road ahead? I don't play
I don't
games.
play games. I love how serious that answer is.
But I really don't.
I don't. That's what I picked.
I'm picking I don't play games because.
Yay!
What'd you get?
I got Grogu.
I got Jabba.
Wow.
I got Jabba too.
Wow.
You'll be traveling with Jabba.
What's the blurb on him?
With Jabba,
By your side.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
We joined this under the understanding we'd get some Southern twang, so I need.
Okay. So you'll be traveling with Jabba. I'm just kidding. That was a little Miss Minutes moment. With Jabba by your side, you'll have plenty of time to relax and lounge about on this road trip. I hope not. This is a quick get there and get back. Just make sure to crank the air conditioning if it starts to get too warm. Huts aren't exactly known for their hygiene.
No, they're not. Good luck, guys.
I'll make him roll through a car wash. You know?
That's right. Roll.
I wish you all the best of luck.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot. Yeah, and then Han Solo's splitting up the driving with me. This is gonna be a dramatic event.
Grogu has plenty of experience taking road trips with the Mandalorian, but he's still learning how to fix his ride and not push the wrong buttons on the controls. Strap him into the passenger seat and make sure you pack some extra snacks for the road ahead. Now that you've identified your road trip buddy, oh man, there's so many. We'll take some more quizzes at a later date.
I love it. These are so cute.
I'm picturing though in your car, like you go to shift and the shifter's missing. What?
Oh,
and he ate it, and you're like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah, Grogu.
But that's the fun of having Grogu with you. You expect those shenanigans, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I picked a car that's fast and sporty. How's Jabba fit into this?
Yeah, I said practical and used. Wish I'd said luxurious and spacious now.
Yeah,
I think that would.
I could get far away from him.
I mean, I think Grogu was a big part of having Mando as the driver.
Probably. Haley says, what I'm learning is that Victoria and I would be stellar road trip buddies. LOL.
Yes, we would. Yes, we would.
And what I'm also learning is that the next time I have Victoria or Haley on, I should have the other on as well.
Yeah.
So, Haley, if you're in the chat, the open invitation is there for the next time Victoria is on Dyad in the Force. We'll have both of you on.
Oh, we got a Star Wars lawyer sighting in the chat. What up, Chris?
Hey,
Woo!
What's going
Hello.
on? Okay, so let's move on to Yoink. The Bad Batch. Let's close this show off with the Bad Batch. I'll just say it off of the bat, a lot of people have been having trepidations with this show leading up to this episode. I believe when I say leading up to this episode, because I think this episode has finally, at least in my opinion, dug itself out of its own rut. I understood the narrative and I was enjoying all of these episodes. And I think everyone is in agreement here that the Bad Batch has been great so far. But in terms of like that excitement factor, we've been waiting for it. And I think we have it here. And the one thing I want to ask you guys though is like the composer that said when they were scoring episode 14 and it made them cry, do you think this was the actual episode, or do you think they were working off of like a previs and the next episode is the tearjerker?
Next episode, tearjerker.
Next episode for sure. Absolutely.
What did you guys think?
Or, I mean, there was a lot of nostalgia in a lot of the scoring for this one that I think they did. I think they played off of new characters, new story, but they did like the nostalgia really well with this episode as well. So I think there was like a good, like it was inextricably linked to the Star Wars music like we love, and something fresh, something new, and all these new characters that we have created relationships with. So I don't know, maybe it was like but I still think its next episode is going to be our tearjerker for sure.
Yeah.
I think about it in terms of anime. And I think Victoria, you could probably appreciate this, where there are certain types, and let me also say this stuff, it's not filler. Like the other episodes and things that were slower or whatnot weren't filler. They were giving us what we needed to get really attached to these characters, so that when the plot jets ahead, we get devastated and cry. But there is, on that note though, there are like two separate things. There are the ones that build us up, and then there are the ones that move forward. Like it's upward trajectory or forward trajectory. I think this episode is like delivered on what the first episode had been promising us. Not that it's the only one that has, but some of the other ones just spent a lot of time building up this universe versus delivering on that promise. I think this most recent one delivered on that promise in spades.
Absolutely.
And seeing Scorch was badass. So
Yeah, I loved it. The Ralph McQuarrie concept art being used. I think they're finding, they're taking strides with finding all kinds of uses for this. Like, what is that word? This defunct art, or formerly defunct, now finding purpose, new life in the new shows.
Well, it makes sense because Ralph McQuarrie's original artwork is what inspired most of Rebels. And if we are bridging the gap between Clone Wars and Rebels, that's exactly what we need to do. I mean, seeing the helmet shape and how it is so, but not going on the nose, like no Imperial March, which we got with Empire, because we're not there yet. We're just getting Death Star vibes.
I would have a lot more to say if my internet did not crap out for like a few minutes. I think we are back up. I'm getting the green light on the software. And Xcore and Levi did say that it froze for them. Press F in the chat if you guys see us, and we're back. It's, moments like this when you're like, all right, fine, I'll pay for StreamYard.
What'd you say?
Yeah, it's
Ben
Hi,
says
Ben.
it's really blurry.
Yeah, I mean, we're just getting back, like it's just reconnecting right now, and the bit rate is going back up now.
Yeah, audio is good.
Well, all you need to do is listen to our beautiful voices, or to be
That's right.
more specific, Victoria's beautiful voice, Element 7's great voice, and me.
No.
So is there a way you can kind of like maybe crunch down what you just said and repeat it?
To kind of crunch it down, I was just talking about how this episode gave us a lot of that great transition, right? We were seeing a lot of the Ralph McQuarrie artwork, which is what really carried forth Rebels. A lot of Rebels was based off of that original arc. So seeing it pop up here is a great transition from Clone Wars into Rebels. Not to mention that the general aesthetic of the base is very Death Star, especially the musical cues that we heard while on it was very A New Hope. And I mentioned it's not, we didn't get like the Imperial March because that didn't come into place until Empire Strikes Back, and we're just not quite there yet. I thought it was a great point. Also, I pointed out that having this mountain, this Imperial base hidden inside a mountain makes me curious if they're going to do this again, and maybe that's where they're bringing the Kaminoan scientists to, and we can get a Mount Tantus, which was a big part of Heir to the Empire. We get some Joris Sabayoth type stuff, and we can get some awesome stuff.
I'm gonna I say Kabaeth, like Cthulhu. It's It's interesting to hear all of these different pronunciations of names that we don't have official pronunciations of. But I absolutely agree with everything that you just said. Vic, how does this episode change the Bad Batch for you?
I was thinking about how, and like talking about it today, that this sets up the momentum for a second season. And like Ben and I were talking about that, and he said it looks like the momentum could be leading up to something like that. And so I think that's like what you were saying, like upward and forward mobility. I think the momentum for us is being really picked up. We're getting that like that action that we've perhaps been hungering for in the forward. We've gotten a lot of character action up until this point. And we've gotten a lot of development and world building, and I think now is like an awesome time for us to like take that and run. And so I think there's a lot of momentum going into these next few episodes, which could really show us what a second season could look like.
Absolutely. I'm still on the side that it's still gonna be one season, and then the last episode's gonna be like an hour long, like the first episode. I wouldn't mind if it's 2 seasons. It's just like the stories in this time period are so constrained.
Right.
And it almost like kind of makes the galaxy feel a little bit smaller when you're the time period's around Order 66, right? So like everyone that
Very
exists around
saturated.
that time period is going to be people you know, and then it makes it feel a little bit smaller. Whereas in like the High Republic, these are all new characters, these are all new stories, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is such a big galaxy. And even going into like other books in the High Republic, there's familiar faces, but then they're involved in new characters. And so that's my concern for the Bad Batch. If it goes to a season 2, it's like, how much more of this,
Right.
like the daily life of Bad Batch and Omega do we need? Or can we wrap this up in 3 episodes, like one next week and then like the final hour long? You said that Lamasu isn't dead in your coverage, Choco.
What I said was that this is Star Wars, and if you don't see them die, it's a good chance they didn't. But no, I don't believe Lamasu is dead. Not yet.
I think so. I don't know. Like the doors closed in with the 2 clone troopers. They had their orders. Like what happens? Like, do you think they?
If that's what happened, the doors would close and blaster bolt that indicate that he died, and there was and they just didn't want to show it. But that's not what we heard. So I don't know. I mean, it's very, very possible. It's very, very possible. But I also saw Orn Free Tog get shot in the head, and he's alive.
Oh, that's true.
That's
so true.
Yeah.
Also to Chris, Star Wars lawyer says, my brother says, what up, Choco and Pep? What's up, Robert? How are you doing, buddy? We gotta get you on here at some as well.
That's true. We could bring both of them on as well.
Yeah.
I also find it funny that like that's like a Choco and Pep and not Brandon and Pep, or a Brandon and Element.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I think I've actually been more stingy with my name than you have, maybe.
I guess. I don't know. I don't tell people my name. They just like ask, and then I tell them.
Same. People know it because of other people. Not necessarily.
And Vic, of course, it's in her name. So
Yeah.
That's not Victoria. It's Victoria. Y'all get it right.
Right. It's all an alias.
It's Victory
That would be-
Ayal.
That would be
Yeah,
an
that's
awesome alias, though. If you like led us to believe, and you're like, yeah, I'm Sally.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Xcore Gamer still says we didn't hear any blasters, so they could be arresting him. You know what? I am on this side now because I'm thinking about whether or not Lamasu has a way to remotely or creatively turn off their chips, like a failsafe. Like if the door is closed and the clones were closing in on him, and Lama Su was like watermelon sunrise, and then they were like, "What's happening to us?
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Where's Rekka?" You know. I mean, wouldn't he have a failsafe?
I think it's
pineapples.
very
Pineapple.
Oh man. So, what do you think's gonna happen to Hunter? There's a lot of theories out there right now. One of
A lot of
which,
theories. I'm thinking that that Crosshairs is somewhere in between the amped up Crosshair before and our Crosshair. She just doesn't have an opportunity to make a choice because he's already aligned himself with bigger. I know. I feel like it's a red herring, but could be wrong. Also, to what Victoria said, I think we could potentially be setting up a second season as well, because there is a lot of things to resolve, especially Omega having a full arc.
mm-hmm.
I don't think she gets a full arc, even in a couple more episodes.
What is a full arc for her? Like, what do you see?
Coming to terms with what it means to help others and be selfless while protecting herself and what she has.
Do you think she needs to go off on her own?
I think she needs to be picked up by her big brother, or to have Leader the Wind pop up and be like, "Let me take you here, bro."
What do you think, Vic?
I don't know. I haven't done a lot of thinking about Omega's character as far as like what would feel like a resolution to me, because I don't know if a resolution for Omega is necessarily necessary for the Bad Batch to find a resolution. I think there is like open-endedness because not only because of Omega's youth, but because of I think it definitely could be. I think for me, I would like to see some sort of arc coming, like an identity type arc. And I'm a sucker for those anyways. But something where Omega like accepts these all of these facets of her identity, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like we have to resolve Camino and Omega.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I think there's so many other things for the Bad Batch to find resolution that I don't know if Omega's resolution is like a part of making that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, now that you guys mention it, it's looking like there's far more reason for there to be a season 2 than there are reasons for there not to be. But like, man, I can't stress enough like the danger that they run into with, you know, having to fill up another season. I kind of feel like instead of doing another season that they should just add on top of this.
Separate show.
Like, or like a part 2, like a season 1 part 2. Like they take a break, like in sometimes in anime.
Mando is Mandalorian, 2 seasons or 1 story, 16 chapters.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll get that in our cable TV as well. You'll have the mid-season finale, right? Haley says, do you think they would go 3+ seasons like Rebels and Clone Wars? There's so much they could explore. No. There's so much they could explore, but not from the lens of Bad Batch. I feel like there's a lot of stories to tell and a lot of different shows you could do. But if you're pigeonholed in like the Bad Batch point of view, there's not much that they intersect with that could expand further than it already has. Like they've already inserted themselves into an arc that they weren't in. So just for the origin.
I love it, like if it tries to expand into like the political era and just like they just drop Chekhov on Coruscant and then he just goes and talks with politicians. Like, this feels weird. No, there's a lot to explore in the time period, but I don't see 3+. But I want to move out of this time period personally.
Yes.
Sorry.
I agree.
No,
I want to go prequels. I want to get it. I mean, I think a High Republic show would be incredible, but even if they were thinking that's too big of a thing to bet on, we can do something that was before the Phantom Menace. We can take the solid success of Master and Apprentice and make a show where it's a young Obi-Wan and we get to learn the ins and outs of becoming a Jedi. Like, that's one thing we've never seen.
Yeah.
Becoming, going through the ranks of being a Padawan and all that stuff.
I would love a show around the time of Dooku Jedi Lost, around the 80s to 90s BBY. Just so that we have the post acolyte.
So,
and then we get the
80s.
show.
I'm picturing Rael Averos with a flock of seagulls haircut and rolled up.
Yeah.
in his 80s jacket. So that's what I pictured. Well, you said 80s. I'm like, yep, that's Rael in the 80s.
It's funny thinking about that chronology. Like, what about the 80s and the 90s? I mean, but like before. Chris says, Ty York Monster Hunter series. Yes, of course. Anything from the High Republic would be completely welcome in a show form. Even the Old Republic, really. But we just need more shows that are like, ever since they completed the Skywalker saga, I felt like, give us stories outside of it, then like we've completed it. And so, but of course we can't really do that.
I think we're just shooting ourselves in the foot by playing it safe.
Yeah.
The prequels weren't safe, and I think that's why they're successful now. I think if the prequels were more similar to the original trilogy, then the people that really loved the original trilogy would have enjoyed them and captured the young people, and at least not in the same way. And I don't think Star Wars would be as successful as it is. It was its own thing for its own time. I think we need more of it.
Yeah. Cal wants an alien-driven show about pod racing.
Yep.
That would be really cool.
It's
Yes.
it's like Fast and the Furious, but starring Ben Quadinaros.
Okay. What would it be called?
And then Sebulba's like, I don't got friends.
I got swoops. Make the Jedi Apprentice books canon via TV shows. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Siritachi is canon as well, so there's some stories there. But like the prevailing theme here, right, is that it's outside of this time period that we keep on coming back to.
Yeah.
A fresh Knight Yoda. Man, I know George Lucas has specifically said his origin will never be revealed, just like Anakin's. But I keep wanting that. Even if it's like a species that like only a few exist every 1,000 years, it's like awesome. But I want like a species name. But does it lose its luster after it's revealed? That's the concern.
I think okay. We need a limited series, and it's about an adventure that Plo Koon was on, the same one where he finds Ahsoka, but we have him, going out and he's chasing down these space pirates that are like doing like trafficking and stuff, and that leads him to where, because someone came around and claimed to be a Jedi to take Ahsoka, and she was like, no, I don't have any powers or whatever. I want to see that story, and then he picks her up, and then they end up getting trapped, and then he has to John Wick himself out. So
Yeah. That is
Yeah.
that's the one. X-Core has a theory on Yoda. Okay, well, let me hear it. Let us hear it.
and then they make Electric Judgment canon.
Oh gosh. At least there'll be some kind of color pigmentation distinction if that does happen, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Doesn't it take centuries of training?
God. But guys, if anyone tells you, because there is no canonical indication on how long anything takes to learn, ever, at any point in Star Wars. So anytime you're in a comment section, you're like, well, like a master. No, who said that? Who told you that? Ask them. Who said that?
Yeah.
Or did you just make that up? Did you make something up and then get mad when the thing you made up isn't canon? That's weird. That's suspicious.
That's suspicious.
Just the way you said that's weird struck me funny. Okay, do we have any final thoughts on the Bad Batch? What are your predictions for next week? Do you think they're gonna put a chip in Hunter, like redo his chip?
Ooh, that would be heart-wrenching.
It would be. It would also mean Crosshair and Hunter versus the Bad Batch.
I don't know.
Choco's like, I'm done.
No. I'm just pondering something. But the way I think that Crosshair is wanting to defect, but he can't, and he's seeing things go wrong. I think if he was truly as ruthless as he was when the chip was first reactivated, I think he would have shot Hauser. We saw him looking through the gun, and I kept wondering, why didn't he shoot Hauser?
Yeah.
He shot people for less.
Yeah.
So, that happening makes me curious of like, well, I know what happens when you don't comply. I've committed what happens when you don't comply. It's better to be at the right hand of the devil in its path. To quote Benny from The Mummy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think that's a huge Chekhov's gun, isn't it, Hauser? It's just they show
Hauser
him
exists for a reason.
Yeah, they show him not following orders and questioning them for just to provide this is the chips wearing off kind of like
Hauser's in the next
Inception.
cell over.
Yeah. That's true. Oh, so you think like Crosshair's going to like he's gonna like walk up to Hunter and be like, quick, hit me.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I do.
Gotta make it believable. Hit me. Wow, that's interesting. So I have two possibilities now, or multiple possibilities, but the one we're spouting is the very tragic tearjerker that is Hunter is indoctrinated again, and Omega has to see him like that. Because I'm also thinking about what's going to make this composer cry.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
Wrecker dying.
Vic, any final thoughts?
I think you got it. Yeah, I'm excited because I think that this has really made me care about characters that I didn't have care for prior to this show, and that's one of the most beautiful things to me about Star Wars is like how it can make you step outside yourself and like extend your heart. And so I think that next week being the tearjerker episode, like the momentum was built from this week, no matter what happens, I think that it's really gonna like force us to extend our hearts in some way. And I love the idea because like it was floating around in my mind that Crosshair has some development to do. and that would be like obviously a happier thing. But I absolutely think something is gonna happen to Hunter, that whether it is that like the chip, or whether it is something where he puts his life before or he puts Omega's life before his own, and so that, you know, wraps up Omega's resolution and how Omega can continue to do that. And like, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
we're gonna cry.
yeah.
Who's gonna lead the next mission?
Omega.
Yeah.
Or Tech.
I think I see Tech leading the mission, but it's Omega's strategy.
Yeah, that makes sense. Star Wars lore says Echo is going to sacrifice himself. There's bound to be a sacrifice. That's why the track exists. A clone sacrifice. They're going to play it. And the composer will most likely have scored a custom clone sacrifice version for the Bad Batch. It probably made him cry, because clone sacrifice makes me cry. It's
yeah, especially when it's gonna be Wrecker.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I mean, just the way I most picture is they're escaping. There's a bunch of them running at, and someone has to, go ham in order to slow them down enough. And that's just what I see in my mind, right? So that's why I only see Wrecker, just because of what I've pictured. But it makes me laugh when people say Echo, because I'm sure there is another situation where Echo would be the sacrifice, but I'm still picturing the same situation. So I'm picturing like a bunch of clones charging, and Echo jumps out and he's like, screwdriver hand. He's like, I'll hold him off with this. It just makes me laugh.
The reason I don't like Echo dying is because he's already did that. He already went through that, you know? And, you know, lest we simmer, or
he's got experience,
lest we stay in this sad zone for far too long, I have one final thing to ask you guys before we wrap.
Okay.
What is the likelihood of a Rogue One versus Omega dying?
I don't see it happening, because at the end of the day, the stuff still is family oriented. I just feel like I'm just picturing like a little girl who's watching. This is their first entry into Star Wars, and then and then their self-insert character dies, and they're like, "Mommy, what's death?"
That's true.
Yeah. So I guess I never pictured Omega dying, but I saw, like, in my mind, I was like, this could be a Rogue One situation where it's only Omega, and Omega has to go off on their own and go through that identity arc.
I feel like that's her destiny, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Not to say I want the Bad Batch to die.
It is your destiny.
Yes.
That was pretty good.
It actually felt good.
That was very, very good. Chills, I tell ya.
Calfor says
crits.
Omega
Okay.
flees to Corellia and becomes Kira.
I love it so much, but it's so chaotic.
It so does not make any lore sense.
Especially having read
But like in my head, I'm like,
Most
absolutely,
Wanted.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, so
if you're a prequel to Solo, you can read Most Wanted.
Yes. But before we go down even deeper into this feels bad man territory, it's time to wrap up. So let's thank our Squadron 7 pilots. we have Saint Pat in the X Wing, Nerd Connor in the U Wing, X-Core Gamer Skills in their A Wing. Boba Fett's starship has Brian with the beard, Brian with the bread, Brian with the beard, bread, Brian with the bread, beard as its pilot. TIE Fighters, holding it down is Car2D2, Levi Bond in the Interceptor, Cal 4. Oh, that's right. Car2D2 wanted to change to the Ghost. So just picture him in the VCX 1000 category with Cal 4. Darth Choco, Ariel in the Jedi Vectors with their Super Star Destroyer fleet, Grandmaster Bale, Harith Productions, DePaul, Massa with the Y-Wings, and our reserve pilots, Johnsky, Julie Christine, Gray, and Star Wars Lawyer. Thank you so much to you guys for your support, without which this channel and our content could not continue. A very special thank you to Victoria. It's Victoria, y'all, for joining us this week. Do you have any closing thoughts or anything to say to the chat?
I am so thankful to be here. It feels like coming home, and so I appreciate you guys. I love the community that we have all built around Star Wars. You know, it being close to a year of Star Wars TikTok for me. Or a little over a year in Star Wars TikTok. I am absolutely blown away by not just like the content, but the community that everybody has created. And so I love seeing you guys on my For You page, on my timeline, on Twitter. I love seeing all the like creative and amazing takes that everybody has. Y'all make it. Y'all, this is what Star Wars is about, and Star Wars is more than just a media to consume. It is a heritage, and it's something that like has been passed along, and it's transmitted from person to person. And so this is what keeps it alive. This is how we're gonna keep going, and I cannot wait for like the passion that has been shared with me to pass it to somebody else, because that brings me so much joy, is getting to see Star Wars light up everybody's eyes. And so seeing y'all's passion as you talk about all the amazing things that are coming out makes me so excited to be a Star Wars fan. And so thank y'all for creating this community. Thank everybody in the chat for being a part of this community and all the amazing content that y'all create and consume, and the conversations that y'all are a part of. So that's all I have to say. I love each and every one of y'all. Thank you for having me again.
You are always welcome. Always.
Choco, round us out, man. What's your final thoughts, closing thoughts?
Final thoughts is stay tuned. I will make a promise that next week we will give you guys the information on the end of the trivia contest. I know we've been talking about that for a while. But yes, that is coming. But yeah, again, thank you guys for joining. And just like Victoria said, this is what it is. This is what it's about. Us having a great time, geeking out, making friends, doing theoretical space road trips, and Suki.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
And so that's the end. I want to echo everything that Vic and Brandon said. Vic is a very valuable member of this community. And so, you know, having her on the show isn't a stretch by any means. You know, whenever we feel like it, she'll be on, hopefully, and she'll accept. So I'm just going to drop that message every once in a while and be like, come on. And we'll see if she says yes. I do want to address this before we do finally wrap things up. Just really quickly, Grey Fade, what if Omega becomes Omera from Mando? And that is a really good kind of call. Because 18 BBY to 9, that's like almost 20 years. So how old is Omera, and does that age make sense? And she looks like that's how she would look. What do you guys think?
I have not had any time to process this information, but I mean, it feels weird that you would change your name by one letter in the middle.
That's the one thing I was hoping you'd say.
But
I mean, she
Yeah.
took the R from Hunter because in honor of him.
Or Wrecker, Omura.
Or Wrecker. Yeah. And so I don't think it's too far off in my mind. I kind of like that. If she had to like go into hiding, I mean, it's the same as like Obi-Wan turning to Ben.
That's true.
You know?
Or just Luke not given an F, just Luke Skywalker.
Just changing his name to Luke.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a good
So
theory.
I like it. I like it a
Absolutely.
lot.
And it is very likely that she is not that old. The ages do match up. I guess I gotta echo what Choco said. The only gripe is like, why would you change your name by one letter? And then Vic said, obviously there's some namesakes to be had, but of course, you know, we'll see. If she goes into hiding and it turns out to be Omera, that would be an excellent call. Gray Fade. Called it on Dyad in the Force, episode 38. But that is the end, everyone. On to the next one.
For light and for life.
We are all the Republic.
And may the force be with you.
Bye.